think you know it's true. Demon money, 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 money.
Money,
Yeah,
money, money. Gotta
yeah,
get
that's a
that
theme
money,
song. That's
money,
a
money,
bop.
money, money.
I
It
don't
is.
care what anybody says. WWE
It
should use
is.
that every year.
Oh, I hope they do. It's better than that stupid generic money, 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 money. Like I got so tired of that. And
Yeah.
then they used that one random song in 2010 by a band called I Fight Dragons.
Oh, that's fucking right. Yeah, didn't they?
So weird. And then
Oh,
I think in 2018, 19, that's when they started using
yeah. I gotta
the
get that.
song.
Gotta
Yeah,
get that. It's what it's called.
the song that I use that I listen to on loop
I thought
whenever
you
it's
were gonna
playing
say
the
the
season.
song that I use as my ringtone.
No, I should make that a joke every time. That should be my shit post.
and watch throughout this podcast. If you're watching on video, thank you all so much for tuning in. Obviously, the ZNT Wrestling Show. We've done almost 80 of these, Tomas.
Holy shit.
That's fucking crazy. We're
Holy
getting
shit.
close to 80. And
Wait till our 100th review when we do something random like review that
Review
episode of Impact where AJ Styles dresses up like a reindeer.
Heroes of Wrestling.
December to dismember.
Oh fuck no, that's part of the retro ruthless aggression thing.
Hardcore
We're gonna keep
Justice
that train
2010.
going. Oh fuck.
Hardcore
Yeah,
Justice
well,
2010.
we're getting close to the 100th. So if you've been with us since the beginning, Backlash 2020, let us know what you want us to talk about down in the
The episode of Monday Night Raw where the Big Boss Man crashes Big Show's funeral, Dad's funeral.
my daddy. Yeah, but
Let's pull a deadlock episode and just review a random episode of Raw.
Kane, listen to me, you sick son of a bitch.
Let's review the episode of ECW where CM Punk won the ECW title.
Oh man, this is gonna be one of those pods, isn't it?
So we
This
can
is gonna
talk
be
about
one of those
Big Daddy
pods.
V's fucking titties.
You piece of shit. You piece of shit. But until then, we watched WWE Money in the Bank 2022, emanating from the MGM Grand Garden Arena.
We want to address the elephant in the room now.
Yeah, let's address it. Nick Khan is a freaking idiot for booking Allegiant Stadium the same night as a UFC pay-per-view. Like,
Also, okay, we went through these statistics a few weeks ago. It was April, May, June, July. 4 months after WrestleMania. Same night as a UFC fight. 1 week after Forbidden Door. 3 weeks before SummerSlam. And a couple of months before...
which is also a stadium show.
Yes. And a couple months away from Clash at the Castle, the big international show that WWE's doing.
Also a
They did all of
stadium
that.
show.
And they thought they could fill a stadium for Money in the Bank. No.
No. Maybe if you put it at the end of July like it should be and put SummerSlam in August, but
Yeah.
it's
We
going to be
get
weird. It's going to be
No
weird.
wrestling pay-per-views in August.
Yeah, which
At
is
least not from
wild.
WWE or AEW. I'm sure Impact is running a few shows. I'm sure the smaller, bigger promotions like your GCWs, there'll be wrestling on the weekends, but no
There will
big
be.
WWE or AEW shows. That's
There
gonna be
will
weird.
be.
So
It'll be very weird. I'm planning on so I remembered the winner of our last poll. King of the Ring 2001 is coming. So bear with us, my friends.
please be patient. We just signed the lease, and I'm moving next weekend.
It's the end of an era. End of an era, my friends. So
This is the
enjoy
last
it
time
while you
you're
can.
going to see me in this very dimly lit room, and I will be in my brand new apartment.
There you go. Congratulations to Tomas and Brittany. It's just
Thank you,
awesome.
thank you.
Awesome. I'm so happy for them. But yeah, no, it should be interesting. ZNT Wrestling Show. We could do some like live shows, like
yeah.
in studio too, together,
Trust
not
me,
on Zoom.
We're gonna do some fun stuff. But back to with the stadium thing. So WWE was forced to move into a smaller venue because they only sold like 15,000 tickets to the show.
Oh my god,
But
yeah.
the MGM, which the arena that they moved to, had less seats than what they sold. So there were people that bought tickets to Money in the Bank.
I
And
didn't get to
since
go.
The show is technically sold out. They did not get to attend this show. If that was me, I would be very pissed off.
I would be
I'd
furious.
WWE.
I would sue Vince McMahon for all he's worth. You know, probably worthless now, seeing as he's got some shit going on. But not gonna address that right now. Stephanie McMahon should remain CEO, in my opinion.
But before we
Here we go.
Let's wash our mouths out with the negative because this was a really fun show.
It was. It was.
A lot of expectations. Only a 6-match card. A lot of these matches looked on paper to be underwhelming, but they delivered.
It's a very Money in the Bank 2022, which took place tonight at the time of recording, July 2nd of 2022, Independence Day weekend. Happy 4th to everybody celebrating, by the way. Yeah, I agree with you. Very underwhelming looking card. No AJ Styles, no Kevin Owens in either of these ladder matches.
Roman Reigns.
Or Roman Reigns, because he's holding both the WWE and the Universal Championship hostage right now.
But let me tell you something, Zach. 11 years ago, there was a Money in the Bank pay-per-view, the second one, and that was a very underwhelming card. What happened on that show?
CM Punk won the WWE Championship with John Cena.
Alberto and Bryan Danielson won the briefcases. I don't remember any other matches on the card, but we got a match that we will never, ever forget, and that was John Cena versus CM Punk for the WWE Championship.
You got Randy Orton versus Christian in another clinic in their rivalry. Mark Henry versus The Big Show.
Yeah, and one of the only cases where the World Championship changed hands on a disqualification. But nobody remembers that. Everybody remembers Punk and Cena. I feel like this pay-per-view is the same way, but for different reasons. Money in the Bank always feels like a gimmick pay-per-view that shouldn't be there, but it's always a memorable show, whether it be good or bad. And I think tonight was a very underrated show.
Certainly a memorable show. I don't want to say this is better than a lot of the WWE pay-per-views. Certainly not better than WrestleMania or Hell in a Cell, in my opinion. I think I would even put WrestleMania Backlash over this show, if I'm being honest. But in terms of the wrestling, yeah, these men and women certainly delivered. The women's Money in the Bank ladder match was on first, and you get big time Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Lacey Evans, Asuka, and Shotzi Blackheart coming out here for this ladder match. I like a lot of the women in here. I was talking to Tomas a little bit as these people were making their entrances. Number one, is Lacey Evans a babyface now?
Lacey Evans came out and her attire, is she Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels? My response
I don't know.
My response is yes. Lacey Evans, they have been literally jerking this girl around ever since she returned. They can't decide what the fuck she is. They can't decide what.
Yeah. So they have her cut a promo about how she was like overcoming being suicidal or what have you. I don't exactly remember what the context of the promo was. But then the next night she's out there being a heel after cutting such a heartwarming babyface inspiring speech.
Here's the thing,
what
WWE.
the fuck?
Lacey Evans can be a good babyface if you just fucking let her and stop jerking her around the way you do.
Yeah, I agree. I really do agree. Lacey Evans' gimmick is being jerked around between heel and babyface alignments. Raquel Rodriguez's gimmick is not only being Braun Strowman's girlfriend, but also her shoulders.
Yeah.
That's her gimmick. It's her shoulders.
They stripped away all the personality she had in NXT, but they let her keep her shoulders.
And they gave her a brand new last name, too, because for some reason we're not allowed to use real names anymore, even though I will still use them. I will still use them in certain cases if I think they're a name that Vince...
Yeah, I understand, but I feel like out of all the name changes, this is the least offensive because...
Oh, yeah, I agree. You know I agree. You know, it at least sounds like, a real name. Yeah, it's not whatever Walter is called right now. It's not whatever Pete done.
JD McNaw, but then again, Jordan Devlin is a piece of shit and he deserves the worst name in history.
Well, Jordan Devlin deserves a release, but we'll get into that later.
Shotzi, remember when she had a fun gimmick and then WWE took it all away? They took her tank away, they took her horns away,
and they turned her heel. They turned her heel. What the hell?
Turned her into a boring, bland heel.
This crowd was cheering for her, by the way, and I popped for Mike Rome announcing her as from Oakland, California.
Yeah.
Bay Area.
Shotzi is very close to home at this pay-per-view. And Brian Zane is going to have a lot to say because he is a Reno native and he's worked with her a lot. And I've said this once, I will say it again. I met Shotzi at a show in Pacifica. She wasn't wearing any shoes. She was stoned off her ass and she was eating a slice of pizza. And she took a picture with me. Ladies and gentlemen, and here she is now in WWE. Ladies and gentlemen, support your independent wrestlers.
Absolutely. You never know.
Gonna make it.
But unfortunately, this ladder match definitely could have been a lot better. Becky Lynch and Asuka were rekindling the rivalry that they were sharing through the spring going into this summer.
The best way to describe this match is that the veterans, Bliss, Asuka, Lynch, Morgan, were doing very well. The newbies, the Rodriguezes, the Shotzys, and Evans to an extent were downright sloppy.
Yeah, Lacey Evans wasn't even bad in this match.
No, she was like right in the middle. If you were to rank them, I'd say Asuka, Lynch, Morgan, Bliss. Evans is right there in the middle, and then Rodriguez and Shotzi were very sloppy in this.
She hit a woman's right on somebody that was lethal, knocking them off the ladder.
The scariest other thing is that Aaliyah was supposed to be in this match, but they took her out because apparently Vince is not happy with her performance, and I don't think she would have performed well in this match.
Well, I mean, I know we were just praising Shotzi, but I don't know what was going on tonight. She was like, it was uncharacteristic for her. I don't know what happened because usually she's really solid.
Good mic work put it best. She tried the spot that Shelton Benjamin did at WrestleMania 21, and she tried to run up the ladder and DDT Rodriguez on the ladder.
And she stumbled.
Slipped. Poor girl. She slipped. She recovered well. You know, she climbed back up there and still delivered the DDT, but it wasn't the holy shit moment that it should have been.
I don't know. Like, she might have had butterflies in her stomach the size of eagles.
Yeah,
but
this is her first pay-per-view.
It is, which is insane if you're not counting Royal Rumbles.
She also had holy shit, seeing her work with Becky Lynch was pretty cool, but she sets up for the ball pit on a ladder. Lynch moves, and she fucking smacks that ladder.
Like the back of her head, like oh, yeah, no.
Also, fuck you, WWE. That move is called the ball pit, and I'm not going to let you take the one thing away from Shotzi that she still has.
It is called the ball pit. Yeah. Just like Sheamus' sidekick is Pete Dunne, right? That's who he is.
You said sidekick like a knee. I was like, I didn't know we called the knee the Pete Dunne. I've been calling it the
fuck off.
Anywho, we'll get to that
You know
later.
what I meant?
Asuka was hitting some very nice offense in this match. She was hitting like spinning kicks and spinning backhands and spinning clotheslines all over the place.
Asuka was great in this match.
She was my MVP in this match.
Yeah, no, I could honestly sit there and agree with you, but I think there's someone else who's certainly an MVP. Alexa Bliss was just there for me. She didn't really light the world on fire. What the fuck is her theme song now?
On to everybody, which is pretty cool.
What is her theme song now, too?
It's the I missed her old theme song.
Thank you. Where is like the Blake and Murphy like dubstep Alexa Bliss? That always got me so hyped.
WWE, get rid of the fucking doll.
Please.
You have no reason to keep the doll.
There's no unless you're bringing the Fiend back. Unless you're bringing the Fiend back, there is no reason to keep the doll around.
It's so bad that I don't even remember what the doll's name is.
Lily.
Thank you. See?
Yeah.
We didn't know that.
Of course her name's Lily. I know all the Fiend lore.
WWE needed to strip this gimmick away from Bliss, and they did, but for some reason, I don't know, does Lily really sell that well?
No.
Like, does the doll... So then get fucking rid of it.
I mean, Charlotte Flair already killed Lily at Extreme Rules last year, so why is she still...
That has to be the only reason why, is that WWE thinks that this is a merchandise pusher.
Doesn't make sense.
Lily is not outselling Riddle.
No.
Lily is not outselling John Cena. Lily is not outselling Roman Reigns.
Lily's not even outselling Becky Lynch.
No. So get rid of her.
And can we turn Becky Lynch babyface soon, please? Because
I don't know. She kind of threw a tantrum after this match.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. Becky Lynch, because she's incredible at everything she does, now she's taken a gimmick where she's hit literal rock bottom, and every time she loses a match now, she throws a Christian-style temper tantrum outside. And I don't know if that's the best thing.
Does not win this match.
No, she does not. And she was the betting favorite going into it. But
but Alexa hit a Twisted Bliss onto everybody. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I thought that was cool. Raquel Gonzalez I called her by her NXT name. Raquel Rodriguez, excuse me. She was lifting people up, with her broad shoulders because that's her gimmick.
See, I liked Rodriguez I liked her booking in this match as the biggest threat, because she really was the biggest threat in this match. She's woman handling people all over the place, but what I don't like is she's brawling with Asuka on the outside, and they have the ladder set up.
Yeah.
And it's obvious that they're setting it up for the Lachinga bomb on the ladder.
So here's the thing though, Tomas. I'm sorry to cut you off, but like Raquel bridges a ladder in between the announce table and the apron, and that usually only means one thing. Someone's going through that shit. I've watched a lot of these Money in the Bank ladder matches as a fan. So you're absolutely right. Raquel should have hit her big powerbomb on Asuka through the ladder, but instead, Raquel and Asuka are like working a whole ass Raw match on the outside at rings, like right by Jimmy Smith. Ironically enough, because he's the Raw play-by-play guy, they're working a whole ass Raw match out there, and nothing happens.
Yeah, it's like
nothing happens with the ladder.
Rodriguez lifts Asuka up for the Chinga bomb. Also, I hope I'm saying that right. I forgot what it was called. But then Asuka reverses it into an armbar, and then Rodriguez lifts her up again, and they keep doing over and over and over, and then the crowd is booing at this point. They want to see the power bomb through the ladder. Like, why else would you be setting it up? And then they finally just break the hold, and then I'm upset, the fans are upset. Becky Lynch kind of recovers because she
runs of the match here.
The ladder, and then Lynch jumps off the ladder and does kind of a leg drop senton bomb, but the ladder does not budge. And she bounces off of Asuka, and she broke Asuka's left boob. Because
it reminded me of a similar spot that Becky pulled on Charlotte, I believe, at TLC 2018, which Tomas and I were both in attendance for. I believe she hit a senton off the ladder, and then the announce table didn't budge or whatever, and then Charlotte was just... Becky, never do that spot again.
Yeah,
please.
And then, so I think Jimmy Smith says Asuka may have broken ribs, but I'm just sitting there thinking, no, her left boob is broken because Asuka is clutching her left boob.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. But, so Becky, the betting favorite, is climbing the ladder, and Liv Morgan, who is my MVP of the match, and my pick to win, actually, goes up there, climbs, Becky knocks her over, but then Liv, being the agile person that she is, springs off the rope, knocks Becky Lynch off, and after hitting a sunset flip on Lacey Evans earlier on and almost breaking herself in half, Liv Morgan reaches up and grabs the contract, and I'm like, excellent move. They actually fucking did it. They actually fucking gave her something.
See, Becky Lynch was the logical choice, but Liv Morgan was the fans' choice, and I'm really, really, really happy that they did this. Morgan was in tears during her entrance, so that may have given it away that she was going to win, but good for her. She's in tears with the briefcase. I was very happy, and we would be even happier.
And she cut a interview shortly afterwards where she was like, "Listen, I don't know when I'm gonna cash this thing in, but I gotta make sure I don't fuck it up this time." Like, she didn't say it that way, obviously, PG show, but she basically said, "I'm gonna make sure I use this correctly."
Yeah, because believe it or not, there's actually a little bit of consistency. If you remember, late last year, Liv Morgan challenged Becky Lynch not once but twice for the Raw Women's Championship
at day one.
Yeah, so early at the beginning of this year. And I feel like WWE was not giving Morgan what she deserved, but it looks like things are turning right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sure is. We have Lashley versus Theory for the United States Championship. And the first thing I had to say was, during this video package, this was actually a pretty good build.
Yeah, it was like, it honestly reeked of Triple H versus Scott Steiner's feud from 2003 with the pose down and everything like that. Austin Theory showing off his big old shoulders. It was really fun build.
I saw this segment on Raw and I thought people were going to say it's stupid, but it actually got received pretty well. Theory is posing in the ring and he's going to take a selfie, and then Lashley appears behind him.
It was great.
Selfie. Theory realizes it. He eats a spear. Theory forces Lashley to fight himself and the Alpha Academy for the next couple weeks to win this United States Championship. And the first thing I need to point out is how fucking over Lashley was tonight.
Oh my gosh. This crowd in Las Vegas was on fire all night long, but especially so when Bobby Lashley walked out. They treated him like a freaking main eventer. And Lashley was embracing it.
Yeah, you thought he was over a Hell in a Cell?
Think again.
This crowd. And it makes me happy.
Best crowd all year.
Because I've been a Lashley stan ever since I don't want to say when he first debuted. Yeah, I loved him as a kid, but I think my love for Lashley truly blossomed when he was in Impact Wrestling, having killer matches with Eddie Edwards and Matt Sydal in EC3. And he really finally realized his potential as a pro wrestler.
Leading what would become the Hurt Business. It was known as the Beatdown Clan in TNA at that point. But
yeah.
Returning to WWE in 2018, he really didn't have much of a direction. The Lana thing was stupid. But then MVP and him reunited, and the
rest is history.
The rest is history. And honestly,
I was scared when Lashley broke off of MVP, how he would kind of hang on his own, and he's been flourishing.
He has, and he's actually incorporated like a little fist bump with the crowd as part of his theme music, and the crowd has been like catching on to it, and they've been doing it with him.
It's been great. You know what else?
Finally, Bobby Lashley being a good talker and a good babyface.
Yeah.
You know
what else was great? This match was really good.
It was very good. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Austin Theory is a very good professional wrestler, despite popular belief of how people are like, oh, there's so much politics in there. A lot of people, like a lot of kids, probably hate Austin Theory right now.
And we will get into that much later because I have an excellent point I want to get into. And here's my thing about the Theory criticism. Would you rather it be Jackson Riker? Would you rather it be
absolutely not
some green as fuck wrestler that nobody gives a damn about, or would you
Matt Moss? What?
Theory, a guy who actually worked the indie circuit, and despite popular belief that Vince hates indie guys, he's taking an indie guy. I remember watching Theory in Evolve, and that's one of the top indie promotions in the world.
WWE, I think, bought Evolve, so I think that's part of it.
I remember a few years ago, I was watching a lot of Evolve shows, and I would see Theory. And when WWE signed him, I'm like, oh shit, like WWE really went out of their way to get this guy. So yeah, Theory and Lashley had a surprisingly stiff match.
It was really stiff. Bobby Lashley throws Austin Theory into the ring post at, like head first into the ring post too, which is never a safe thing to do. That's part of Lashley's arsenal.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what are some moves in Lashley's arsenal? You have
the Dominator,
you
the
have
full
the
Lashley.
You have the ramming your fucking head into the steel pole every single match.
Yep, ramming your fucking head into a steel pole.
Theory, like, kind of does a running tackle into Lashley into the barricade. That looked pretty stiff.
Oh, yeah. Lashley's mouth was bleeding.
These guys weren't fucking with each other in this match, and I think that's what made the match, like, even better, is that these guys actually gave a damn.
Tomas texted me a really interesting point earlier as we were watching this match. Number one, that the match was really good. But number two, this is the most important the United States Championship has felt in a long, long time. I would honestly argue that this is about as important of a championship as when John Cena held it in 2015 with the Open Challenges.
And here's my thing. This match had proper build. This wasn't randomly Mustafa Ali versus Theory at Hell in a Cell last month.
Which was pretty good. It was fine.
And now Mustafa Ali has been thrust right back in the main event. And we haven't seen him since. This is important. This match felt important. It had a proper build. It had a proper everything. But this match also had something that you really enjoy.
Theory hit a spear. And it made me so happy.
Not only did it hit a spear, he hit it exactly the way Lashley hits it.
It was
the hips and everything.
It was great attention to detail. And that was another thing I really enjoyed about this match, was the callbacks to this whole build up to this point. Lashley rolls up Austin Theory in the same way he pinned him in the Gauntlet match on Raw a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you noticed that, but I sure did. I was like, that's a clever little Easter egg, guys. I see that.
Lashley hits a pop-up Dominator. That looked pretty good.
Really good. Theory, some good near falls towards the end of this match, too.
Theory hits that absolutely amazing move that he does, where he does a somersault through the ropes and then springs up into a drop kick.
It's a beautiful drop kick.
That's a fucking beautiful move.
Yeah.
It's almost as beautiful as, speaking of Ali, when he does it, but he turns it into a face buster or a neck breaker. I'm just like, it's like what CM Punk said in his podcast. Like, how the fuck does Kofi Kingston jump from the ring floor through the ropes and then rolls into a clothesline? And then he fucking concussed me.
It's great. Concussion City.
Yeah.
I go to the ground and I'm just fucking rocked. I'm out of it. you know,
but no, the athleticism from these guys is excellent.
it was
And
really
then,
good, and it actually leads into a brilliant finish too. So Austin Theory, after he hits the spear, then he gets kind of cocky. He doesn't go for a pin on Lashley right away. He wants to hit him with the A-Town down. So he picks him up for the A-Town down, and Lashley beautifully reverses it into the full Lashley, and Austin Theory's in it for like 10, 15 seconds or so before finally tapping out. Bobby Lashley is a 3-time United States champion. Tomas?
first of all,
You feel old yet?
that Lashley got. And yeah, all my wrestling fans rejoice. I want to say 11 or 12 years old when Lashley first won the United States Championship against Booker T. Was it Booker? Yeah, he won it against Booker.
It was either Booker or Finley, one of the two.
Or Finley. And I'm just like, here I am nearing 28 years old this coming Wednesday. And
Crazy.
Lashley is the United States champion again. And I'm just like, holy shit. This was a wonderful moment, I feel like, for all of us. Lashley is over as fuck. He is celebrating with the fans. The fans just celebrated like the Raiders won the Super Bowl, which we know is never going to happen.
Oh, at least not in our lifetime anymore.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Sorry, Raiders fans.
I'm also surprised that Theory dropped the title. But let's pretend this is me when this match actually happened. I didn't know it was going to happen later on in the night. But I was very surprised that Theory dropped the title. The fans are celebrating with him. Lashley is literally like on his hands and knees kissing the title. And I'm just like, that's how you make a title important.
Yeah.
Lashley right there.
And put it on pay-per-view. So I'd better see fucking Walter on one of these pay-per-views soon, Vince. Because Walter's too good with that Intercontinental title. So let's just make it happen. And also,
it's over a year since the Intercontinental title's been on pay-per-view.
And if Survivor Series is still SmackDown versus Raw, could you imagine Lashley versus Walter?
Oh.
Like,
damn.
Oh my God. Let's make that happen, please. But I would give Lashley versus Theory a solid 3.5. This is one of the stronger matches on the show, I would say.
Agreed.
Definitely very stiff, and it definitely had the right winner. And
also, I want, let's go back to the women's ladder match. I also give that a 3.5, even though it was sloppy. I still enjoyed it.
Just a 3 for me. Just a 3 for me on that women's ladder match.
Definitely one of the weaker ladder matches, unfortunately.
Too many botches.
It's down there.
Yeah.
It's down there with WrestleMania 22.
Hey, that wasn't a bad ladder match, was it? Matt Hardy suplexing Ric Flair off the top?
Yeah, when you have a ladder match with Finley, a Green, Lashley, and Ric Flair.
No.
It's not. No.
But you have Rob Van Dam and Shelton and Matt Hardy to carry the load, you know? But anyway, we're not talking about WrestleMania 22 right now.
Anywho, Lashley is the United States champion, and I couldn't be happier.
Oh, same, dude. Does wonders with that belt. Speaking of belts and speaking of women's wrestling, since we're on that topic, Bianca Belair is defending the Raw Women's title against Carmella. How in the hell do we get here? Because this seems like such a random match.
It was supposed to be Rhea Ripley, but Rhea Ripley is unfortunately on that very long list of wrestlers that is injured.
No Judgment Day on this card anywhere, by the way.
They held a fatal 5-way match on Raw, and out of all the participants, honestly, Carmella was on the bottom of my list. But people brought up a really good point. All the other women were already in the ladder match. So Carmella was literally the only person to win this match. And this is where me and Zack are going to have some disagreements. Look, all feelings aside about how I feel about Carmella. She is a natural heel. I think she has learned this business very well, that she understands this business. I don't think she's half bad in the ring. And I think she's an easy heat magnet.
She's fine.
Any baby face. Like,
you know, here's my thing about Carmella. First of all, again, let's take personal opinions out of the matter, because I do think Carmella's a home wrecker. But it's, you know, if she's given the right opponent, I feel like she can have a really good match sometimes. Not all the time. I mean, there's certainly some matches with Carmella where I'm just sitting there like, oh man, Nikki Bella versus Carmella in a no disqualification match.
There are some days where Carmella looks like a professional wrestler, and then there are other days where you can tell Carmella is just a former WNBA dancer. I think tonight she looked like a professional wrestler. I think her kicks are pretty solid. I love her finisher. And she
It's
is a natural heat magnet.
It's
To the point
her
where-
selling's really good too, I think.
Yeah. And here's the thing. She is such a natural heel that it's going to make any babyface that works against her look good. Bianca Belair is the most over woman in WWE right now. And
Nobody can touch Bianca Belair right now.
no, but
It's on a whole other level.
This was just like another layer of, you hate Carmella? Well, here comes the hero, Bianca Belair. Hopefully she can take her down and shut her up for good. And I thought this was a decent match.
It was fine. I mean, it was I described this to Tomas as we were kind of just texting back and forth and throwing jabs at each other. I was like, this is a very good house show match. I wouldn't say this is like excellent pay-per-view quality like we're used to from Bianca Belair. I would say it's an average match.
Yeah, and here's the thing.
It was
Sure
it was
Belair,
harmless. It was harmless,
Yeah, last year, this was the same feud from last year, but on SmackDown. So I'm pretty sure Belair and Carmella have worked the road together, and to each other, they're probably easy, safe opponents. So this is probably an easy night for both ladies.
Safe opponent, but I'm just getting close because I have a little secret to tell everybody. And Tomas, Carmella's matches against Sasha Banks were better than this. They absolutely were.
I needed you to remind me that she fought Sasha Banks because I didn't remember.
Oh yeah, no, she fought Sasha Banks twice. TLC 2020, Royal Rumble 2021. Both of those matches were better than this.
Damn, those were Thunderdome matches.
They also, sure were, weren't they?
It's been a year since WWE has been back in front of crowds, and holy shit, I can't believe.
It feels like so little time has passed, yet so much has happened.
Right.
It just feels great to be back in front of people. Yeah. But
Anywho,
Carmella's gimmick is money, basically, because she said Mella is money, and I'm like, yeah, that's your gimmick. You have money all over your attire.
Would you rather her wear the porcelain mask again?
Well, it'd be making a pretty big political statement on WWE programming. Wear your masks.
Not the kind of Carmella wears, though.
No.
How about that?
Never.
Anywho,
Never.
I thought this was a fine enough match. Not too much happens.
No.
Bel-Air is athletic as fuck. She's flipping all over the place. Carmella does a pretty good job getting the heat, but I thought the ending was pretty clever. So Carmella gets in Belair's face and starts saying, yeah, you are the EST. You're the trashiest. You're the nastiest. You're the ugliest, person
it just
ever.
Felt so much like WWE dialogue, though. It just felt so forced.
And then that just pisses Belair off. And she says, you know what? Fuck this. I'm done. Lifts her up for the kiss of death. Hits her with the KOD.
Which pretty good kiss of death, too.
Very fucking well.
Yeah. Really good looking kiss of death. But, nothing really much happening. 2.5 stars for me. Very average.
I'll give it a 3. I enjoyed it.
My favorite... A 3? What?
Yeah.
Dude.
It was fun.
This is not a 3-star match, in my opinion, but...
I thought it was fun.
It was fine. I mean, my favorite part of this match, I will tell you, Byron Saxton roasting Corey Graves on commentary.
Oh, it was nice to see Saxton get some revenge.
Oh, please. I actually wrote down the line here. After Carmella does the Mella is money thing, Saxton says, I wonder where Carmella got that from. Looking right at Corey Graves when he said that. And then I kind of improvise a little bit, and I'm like, Saxton, are you implying that my wife is a stripper? I'm like, jeez.
Also, if you guys did not know, Corey Graves and Carmella are married in real life.
Yeah.
In case you haven't known, the past 658 times Corey Graves has told you.
Because he's WWE's new Jerry Lawler, apparently, but he's turning more and more into Matt Stryker by the day.
Apparently.
Yeah. Okay.
What I didn't like what happened after the match. Apparently the feud's not over because Carmella attacked Bel-Air, and that wouldn't be happening if we weren't getting a rematch.
More time to waste.
Something tells me Ripley's not going to be ready for a few more weeks. So if we have to do this at SummerSlam, fine.
That's fine.
This was the joke match we were supposed to get at SummerSlam until Becky Lynch came out. So now it's probably going to be a reality. To be fair, I think Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair is more appropriate for Clash at the Castle anyway.
Even though Rhea Ripley's Australian.
Yeah. WWE will find some fucking reason to make it work.
Yeah, like Edge versus Finn Balor, or Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. Get all the British people on the show.
Basically.
Yeah, that's pretty much what Clash of the Castle is going to be. And you know what? All the better for it. Let's have Walter defend the Intercontinental title at that show, please.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
we have a match coming up next that
Here we go.
I did not think was going to fucking rule as much as it did. It's the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, defending the undisputed tag team titles against the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford.
Excuse me, what did you say? What are their titles?
Look, I'm just going by the official name. It's the undisputed tag team titles.
That's not the official name. These titles are not fucking unified. The brand split still exists. WWE doesn't want you to think that the brand split is there, but it totally is.
Them unified tag team titles. This is in 2009, after all.
Yeah. Just wait until Roman loses one title at SummerSlam and then the other at the Clash. So
please. Anywho, for a match that we have seen a million times, first of all, the Usos crowd hyped with their promo. And then Dawkins and Ford kick it old school, literally, and they go through the crowd for their entrance.
They sure do.
This crowd was on fucking fire for this match. This was excellent.
Oh, I will say, when the Usos were getting the heat on the Profits, and there were not one but two heat segments getting into hot tags, I was like, this is literally just a Roman Reigns circa 2020 match. It's just very slow-paced. Not really a whole lot going on. The storytelling isn't as good as a Roman Reigns match, in my opinion.
Which I think the psychology is very interesting because it feels like they're adapting to their tribal chief. And they were literally, Roman Reigns is teaching the Usos everything he knows. And not only does he want them to go out there and win those titles and, smash and stack and pin every tag team he can out there, but he wants them to inflict suffering and pain onto these teams.
You also want to inflict boredom on your crowds?
Come on. Sometimes segment, I don't know. I thought it was fine.
It took a while to get into, but once you get into high gear, oh my god, I agree with you. This was so awesome.
So first off, I think it was Jimmy hit a fucking super kick in midair to Montez Ford.
Nasty. Absolutely nasty.
I know everybody says Montez Ford this, Montez Ford that, Ford is the next WWE champion. Montez Ford, look, I love Montez Ford, but don't sleep on Dawkins. Dawkins worked just as fucking well as Ford did in this match.
And don't split up the Profits, please. Like, never split them up.
I don't want to see them split up. They're too good of a tag team.
Mm-hmm.
So Dawkins is literally, hitting somersault planchas. He's hitting his trademark spinning splash. He hits the anointment. Ford goes up for the cash out. He hits the cash out, and I am literally convinced that he is going to win this match. And then at the last fucking seconds, Jay doesn't break up the pin just by diving. He literally launches his head into
It's a junkyard dog style thump to break up the pinfall. There was also a brilliant looking blockbuster from the Profits that made me jump out of my seat. And Dawkins with a reaction to the near fall that is going to be the new GIF. It's going to be
Ford does that superhuman where he starts at one corner and then literally does a flying somersault, clearing the ring post.
Fucking ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. How does he do that? How does he have, springs surgically inserted into his knees? Is that how it works?
Good mic work put this in the best words possible. He said Montez Ford is like if 10 years ago LeBron James said, hey, I want to give this wrestling thing a try.
Well, Montez Ford isn't nearly as tall or as bulky as LeBron is. Montez Ford is definitely very much more so a how do I put this? He's more so of a scarecrow build as opposed to a cowardly lion build. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Is the ultimate warrior on crack with the athleticism of LeBron James. This man is out of this world. And I like him and Dawkins as a team so much.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
they're too good.
The anointment and the cash out, thought that was the end. It was not. The crowd is on their feet for this match. I'm loving every second of this match. Both teams get up and they stare down each other. And Jimmy goes for a handshake. And the Profits say, fuck that. They immediately start brawling.
Fight forever chance. Well deserved.
Love it.
Absolutely well deserved. But then it's kind of, I don't want to say the finish was anticlimactic, but the Usos basically hit Montez with a 1D, and they pin him. They retain the titles. This match is very tough to grade for me, just because that first half was so slow, but then once that second half picked up, I was like, damn, this is one of WWE's best tag team matches all year long. So with that said, I know Tomas is going to disagree with me on this, but I'm going 4.25. I know he's going to...
a perfect 5. I loved it. I fucking loved it.
I'll tell you what, if the Street Profits had actually won this match, then I would give it 5.
This match felt like a main event match. And
it did.
You guys tore the fucking house down. And I know this isn't fair to compare, but the Usos and the Street Profits said, fuck your forbidden door. We're going to tear the house down tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And they did.
We're going to lock that forbidden door. We're going to keep that forbidden door on lock.
And so here's where the controversy comes up. They replay, and Ford's shoulder was up.
It sure was.
Time.
It sure was. I was getting Hell in a Cell 2019 flashbacks. I was wanting to chant restart the match at the TV. I was wanting to chant drop the cage at the TV like a fucking idiot, even though there's no cage above the ring. I mean, we're getting a rematch at SummerSlam, and I think that's where the Profits beat them. Just because they were so unbelievable in this match.
They were.
Like, how do you not give them the belts?
See, here's the thing. I'm sure in the beginning that this was a one-off, but WWE cannot look at the Street Profits' performance and not want to run with that.
This is a big coming out party. This is a big coming out party for the Street Profits, I think.
This was the best match they've ever had.
Really?
This is, yeah, and I've seen them fight Undisputed Era. I've seen them fight FTR. I've seen all these amazing matches they've had with Andrade and Angel and Seth Rollins and Murphy and AOP. This was the best match.
I would agree with that. I thought their match with the New Day at Survivor Series was really good too. That one year. I mean, they're just too good of a team. I think they're the next champions. I full-heartedly believe that.
Yeah, this was excellent. I can't believe in the span of 1 week, in my opinion, we got 2 5-star matches.
It's not...
It's a good time to be a wrestling fan right now.
It is. I wouldn't... Like, in my opinion, I totally get why you're giving it 5. Is it my WWE match of the year right now? No. That distinction goes to Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins last month.
Understood.
Like, the story in Rhodes and Rollins was way too fascinating. This match, it took me a while to get into it. It honestly reminded me a lot of Roman Reigns versus Edge in the main event of last year's Money in the Bank. If you remember, the first part of that match was extremely slow, and then once, the near falls started kicking in, the crowd was really starting to get into it. But that match, I feel like, honestly, had an excuse to be a little bit slow because, number one, Roman Reigns, that was his style as the Tribal Chief, going through that first year. But Edge was also a little bit older. He's still a little bit older at this point. The Usos and the Street Profits are kind of young lions. So I feel like it should have been 1,000 moves a minute all the time. And I feel like next month should be even better at SummerSlam with a stipulation added to it, of course, because that's what you got to do.
Ideas around. Put him in a cage.
How about a roof on that cage? Make it Hell in a Cell. If we want to go SmackDown versus Raw on them.
Fucking hell, that'd be fun. Again, I said TL fucking C.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, the Usos worked the Street Profits, and I said that should have been a ladder match at Extreme Rules.
It should have. This match was better than the... I forgot that they wrestled each other at Extreme Rules. This match was better than the one over there, for sure. That match at Extreme Rules was really good, too. But
again, I don't get how you don't do this match again at SummerSlam, because this felt like a SummerSlam match.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sure did.
I love tag team wrestling so much. So fucking much.
Too good, man. Too good. But up next, you have Ronda Rousey defending the SmackDown Women's title against her bestie Natalya, the woman who trained her when she first came to WWE. I don't think they've ever wrestled on pay-per-view, Tomas. I was
having fucking what's it called?
They were having friendly rivalry matches on Raw after Ronda Rousey had won the red belt.
Yeah, I'm having Berenstein Bears.
What?
No, what's that effect? Mandela. Thank you.
I mean,
I literally
Berenstain
just thanked
Bears.
myself. I'm very tired. I have
Where did
Mandela
the
effect.
Berenstain Bears come from?
Oh, because that's where the Mandela effect originated from.
I see.
Other than Nelson Mandela. Some people think it's Berenstein, and it's actually Berenstain, but it's actually Berenstein. We're not having this argument right now. Anywho,
Potato.
it's Anywho, okay.
Ronda
okay.
Rousey versus Natalya was a match that, again, just like the Raw Women's title match, felt very much like a throwaway. It definitely felt like the result was never in any doubt. Tomas was calling this a sleeper hit on the show, and I'm like, yeah, if it were 2019.
I said it had the potential to be a sleeper hit. I liked Bel-Air and Carmella more than this match.
I did too. The match, again, they had the tough task of following the Usos and the Profits.
Also, Ronda Rousey just doesn't care anymore.
No.
She doesn't care. Natalya was carrying this match.
Yeah. It certainly looked that way, didn't it?
Again, for any other wrestler, wrestling Natalya is an easy night because she's a pro. But I don't know, just this didn't feel natural. This felt forced. Natalya's doing her damnedest. Rousey's doing her, same old shit. And
hey, I've got a question for you. Number one, I'm glad to see that Ronda Rousey did not miss her cue this time, unlike in Shrek 1, where the music guy played Ronda Rousey's music and she didn't come out.
The business for herself.
Oh, damn it. Damn you. But what I'm wondering, why isn't Natalya the babyface here? Like,
that's a good question.
It feels very much so like Ronda Rousey's a more natural heel.
At this point, yeah, because she was naturally a face in her first run. But after all of the backstage reports about her, it is obvious that the fans do not like her. And because her heart's not in this anymore, and nobody has been very happy since Ronda Rousey's come back. Someone went as far as saying that Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey was the worst thing going on in wrestling at the time. And I did not see those promos, so I can't attest to that. But people are claiming that, then it must be bad.
I really liked the I Quit match at Backlash.
Oh, I did too.
I don't know if I was the only one.
Garbage. Apparently, the build to WrestleMania was garbage.
Oh yeah, it totally was. But my thing about this match, I feel like it definitely, again, just like the preceding match, took some time to get into, and when they finally kicked that into high gear towards the end of the match, then it was over. Ronda Rousey, again, steals a finisher. She locks in the sharpshooter on Natalya, and she does the fucking, while she's in the sharpshooter, this is a heart in the sharpshooter, by the way, she does the Shawn Michaels thing. And I'm like, how are you not the heel?
Yeah, I was, kind of expecting them to do a double turn tonight.
I wanted them to.
It would have been nice.
I really wanted them to, but they obviously didn't do that. They did something better. But Natalya, I don't think Natalya locked in the armbar, but they were trading ankle locks, and that was pretty much what most of the match was submission wrestling. Very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very mechanically based, I guess is
very
the word.
Much, yeah.
Definitely very proficient submission mechanics going on in here. A lot of counter wrestling. But Ronda Rousey basically locks Natalya in like an octopus lock armbar, and Natalya taps out. Nothing really much to write home about in this match. 2.5 stars, just like the Raw Women's title match. But the big story...
I agree with you with that 2.5 stars.
The big story is Ronda Rousey was selling her knee. Natalya had locked her in a hold or something like that. Maybe it was a Muda lock, and she tore her leg up like CM Punk did. But all of a sudden, my girl Liv Morgan's music hits. Ronda Rousey looks at the stage, and she's like, shit.
Let's just say I woke the fuck up the minute I heard Liv Morgan's music.
Yeah, I was like...
That match almost put me to sleep.
I was like, you're doing this now? You're doing this right now. Like,
I was a little nervous because I didn't think Rousey was that
really
big
was.
up.
I didn't think Liv Morgan was going to cash in tonight. I really didn't. But the thing is, Ronda goes for an ankle lock. Liv Morgan kicks her leg, and she rolls up Ronda and wins the title.
I was terrified because I thought for a second Morgan was going to tap out.
They like scaring us with these Money in the Bank cash-ins. Dolph
Now
Ziggler's
look, this
cash
wasn't
in.
the greatest cash in on the world, but the
No.
fans fucking popped for it, and that's all.
It was. I am so fucking happy for Liv Morgan. I said it on my Twitter. There's nobody more deserving on that women's roster than Liv Morgan to get the big push, and I've been advocating for her for so long. They took away the Riot Squad. They took away her soap opera Jerry Springer angle going into 2020, and she was kind of floundering for a bit.
Yeah, she was, but apparently she's like one of the hardest working women on that roster.
Yep.
Nobody trains harder than she does. She is one of those people that, yeah, she may not have come into this business as a pro wrestler, but she is a fucking pro wrestler.
She is.
So
she is, and the crowd fucking loves her too.
I'm ecstatic for her, and I'm always happy when someone gets moved from Raw to SmackDown. That's always a plus in my book. But then we get followed up with Michael Cole saying the stupidest fucking thing in the world. He says, 8 years ago, a young lady walked up to me at the Performance Center and said, "Hi, my name is Gianna, and one day I'm going to be SmackDown Women's Champion."
The title didn't fucking exist!
You mean to tell me Liv Morgan came up to you and said, "I want to be a champion that does not exist for another 2 years"?
Apparently, Liv Morgan was Nostradamus in that moment.
Why couldn't he just fucking say, "Hi, my name is Gianna. I'm going to be women's champion one day"?
That's all he had to fucking do.
Now, if this was Vince force-feeding this line into his ear, I'm sorry, Michael Cole. I really hope that's the case, because
it's kind of like how. Sorry to cut you off. It's kind of like how petty commentator Michael Cole was last year, saying Edge was the one who invented the Money in the Bank ladder match, which is clearly not true, because the guy who actually did it is in the competition.
That's, again, I hope that was Vince McMahon force-feeding that line into his ear.
It most definitely was, but like this just felt so forced, and it's so crazy because there were other instances where the commentators were like, Liv Morgan's sister is sitting like 3 feet behind Pat McAfee right now. Their parents are back home in New Jersey watching their daughter win the big one finally, and that's
also apparently
great.
Chris Angel was like 4 rows back behind Pat McAfee.
Chris
that was
Angel,
a random factoid.
Former Monday Night Raw guest host, by the way. Never forget.
So before we get into this main event, we get this.
Hold up. Liv Morgan, one more thing. 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up for that cash in. It was, excellent choice. Please do not Nikki Ash her. Don't do it. Like, have her run with this for a while, because she's worked for it.
Poor Nikki.
That's all I gotta say.
I've gotten over that.
Anyway, sorry to cut you off.
This happened earlier in the night, but a weird vignette came up, and I couldn't tell, because here's the thing: WWE plays stupid commercials throughout pay-per-views, so you never know what's a commercial and what's actually a vignette. So it took me a minute to realize what was going on. But this weird vignette shows up, and it seems very spooky. And then all of a sudden, we see gold medals. So the first thing that pops in my head is, Gable Stevenson? Are they giving him a gimmick?
Well, I'll tell you exactly. I'll tell you exactly what it is, Tomas. And I'm sorry to ruin everybody's dreams. I know a lot of people. Tomas was theorizing Gable Stevenson, which honestly to me didn't make any sense. Mainly because like Gable Stevenson should just come in as the Olympic gold medalist, a legitimate athlete. That should be his gimmick. You know, he doesn't need.
Apparently, Mr. Stevenson is in a little bit of hot water right now, and he can't keep his thing in his fucking pants.
Yeah.
So they hold off that little debut, the better, in my opinion.
Yeah. Hold it off, please. Just let him get out of trouble. Don't thrust him on TV when he's under investigation, please.
Yes.
But actually, what I was hearing, from a very, very reliable source, who I'll choose to remain anonymous, the gold medal was an allusion, in fact, to Kurt Angle, who is an old rival of Edge.
Yes, that's what I was going to go into next, because we saw Dudley Boy glasses, we saw a license plate that said Latino Heat.
You saw a lot of crosses there, which are definitely allusions to Christian.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I didn't see all of those at first, so I didn't know what was going on. And then, again, I was reading some things. Apparently, some people thought it was Bray Wyatt. Trust me, I'm not one of those people. Guys, let it go. Bray Wyatt's not coming back to WWE.
As much as I would love for it to have been Bray Wyatt, it wasn't going to be right now. But
I'm not going to be disappointed if it's Edge. But let's just see where this goes, and hopefully it's something cool.
God, I hope so. It's kind of interesting how Edge is reinventing himself after being broken off from the Judgment Day. Now he's going to be a babyface fighting Damian Priest and Finn Balor and all them. Like, I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. But main event time.
Main event time. It's the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, and on paper, this looked like the most underwhelming ladder match of all time. You have Madcap Moss, Omos, Riddle, Sami Zayn, Seth freaking Rollins, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre.
Yes.
Too many hosses in this ladder match. I'm going to say that right now.
So, no AJ Styles, no Kevin Owens. I don't even know who else. No Shinsuke Nakamura. But hey, you get Omos.
No Miz. No Hell. After SmackDown this past Friday, I would have taken Elias / Ezekiel. I would have taken it.
No Rey Mysterio.
No Balor.
Yeah, no Damian Priest, even though he's another Hoss. Yeah, but you get Madcap Moss,
who I don't hate as much as Zack does. But anywho,
hey, listen. I liked his gimmick when he was paired off with Happy Corbin because I'm a dad joke fanatic. Okay, I'm a lot like Claudio Castagnoli. I love dad jokes, and I love coffee as well.
His name is Madcap, and he doesn't even wear a cap.
No, he doesn't wear a cap. He just wears, like, this generic Day of Reckoning Creator Wrestler attire here. Like, if you didn't make any changes to your Creator Wrestler when you did the Day of Reckoning story modes, it's pretty much Madcap Moss is what you come out with. But his gear should honestly be green instead of black, because that really showcases his ability a lot more. He was horrible in this match. Here's the thing, guys.
Say what you want about Omos, but at least Omos played his role very well in this match.
Yeah. Omos was a lot better in this match. I'll give him that much.
As the kids say, Omos understood the assignment.
He did. He did. I agree. But actually, yeah, Omos was thrust through an announce table by all 6 other competitors. Actually, all 6 other competitors who were announced.
Yes. Let's get into that. So Adam Pearce appears on the stage, and he says there's going to be one more entrant. And here's the thing. I didn't expect anybody. I wasn't going to sit here and say, oh, my God, it's John Moxley or something.
Adrenaline in my soul. Yeah, something, like Cody Rhodes.
But when I genuinely don't know what a surprise is going to be, I was sitting on the edge of my seat like, what could this be? And Pearce is like talking this shit up. Like, he's like dragging my.
I will see your 7 participants and I will raise you 8.
Now look, I would have marked out if it was AJ Styles, but he says it's Theory, and I'm like deflated.
It certainly deflated this crowd, and they kind of saw the writing on the wall, because why would you add Austin Theory to this match if he wasn't winning?
So when I heard it was Theory, the first thing I thought in my mind is, well, fuck, he's going to win now.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he did. That's exactly
so before we get to that inevitable finish, the guy that we wanted to win, have you noticed Seth Rollins did barely anything in this match?
It was so bizarre. Seth Rollins hit Omos with a curb stomp on the apron, which could not have been comfortable. And he actually, led the charge in body surfing Omos over to the announce table and dropping him there, which was admittedly a really fun spot.
Which was the fucking funniest sight I've ever seen in my life.
They're body surfing this big Nigerian giant and placing him on the announce table.
Because it made sense, because I'm sitting here thinking, they can't shield bomb him. 3 people
can't
lift him. So it took every single fucking person in the match, other than Theory, to power bomb Omos through a table.
It's coming full circle, honestly, because if you remember when Omos was AJ Styles' heavy a couple of years ago, Omos was at ringside for, I believe, a TLC match, and The Miz had cashed in his contract in a match between AJ and Drew McIntyre. Omos politely takes The Miz off the ladder, and then he just lays him down on the table and puts him through it. And now in 2022, people are lifting up Omos, and they're gently placing him on the table. And I'm
They literally yeeted him onto this announce table.
Yes, that's what happened. That's what happened.
The sequence going into that I thought was very fun because Sheamus hits a brogue, then Zayn hits a haluva kick, and then
which Michael Cole missed, by the way. Michael Cole missed the brogue kick because he's a fucking idiot.
Riddle locks on a submission hold and is able to pull Omos over the top rope with the help of Madcap Moss. Then Rollins hits a curb stomp on the apron. And then McIntyre hits a jumping Glasgow kiss. Let me remind you that McIntyre is over 6 foot tall. And he had
6'6".
He had to jump to headbutt to give the Glasgow kiss to Omos.
Yeah, he hit him with a Claymore earlier in the match too, which I thought was really clean. But yeah, they yeeted Omos body surf style, put him through the announce table. That was a cool spot. I dug it.
McIntyre and Sheamus had a fun little exchange.
They did. Drew was climbing the ladder. Sheamus was underneath it. He was pinned. But then fucking Pete Dunne runs down and he
love this.
Locks Drew in a sleeper hold. And like a little net, Drew just knocks Pete Dunne off his shoulders. Sheamus
Say what you fucking want about his new gimmick, but it is fucking hilarious how every week on SmackDown, they literally have to put this guy in a straitjacket because for some reason he just wants to fucking bite and scratch and punch the living shit out of anything that comes within his view. I mean, Pete Dunne is the bruiserweight for a reason, you know? Like, that's what he does. He's a little jackal. That's what he is. Love it. In McIntyre, you see the look on his face where he's like, get this little fucking thing off of me. Well, at least it was a polished wrestler coming out to interfere instead of the other one. Sheamus hits I believe he hit Drew with a bro kick after that. And then gives Drew a taste of his own medicine, pins him under the ladder. Drew literally bench presses Sheamus while he's on the ladder. And fucking Drew McIntyre is the man. Yeah. That's what he is. He's so great. I know WWE, let's take ourselves out of the immersion for a second. I know WWE ladders don't weigh anything, but Sheamus is a 250-pound man. And McIntyre just bench pressed him like it was nothing. He sure is. It's crazy. It was so good. What wasn't good in this match was, so Sami Zayn was being kind of the little sneak, trying to climb the ladder and, get up to the contract and win. He was hiding from Omos behind the ring post, of all things. It was just the funniest sight. Fucking great. It was the funniest sight, because Omos is just tearing shit up at the beginning of the match, and Sami Zayn is hiding in clear view of the camera, hiding behind the ring post, and he's like, does he see me? Does he see me? It was great. And he wrestled this whole match wearing a Bloodline t-shirt, too, so. Which I loved. Yeah, bonus points for continuity there. But Madcap fucking Moss lifts Sami Zayn up for a powerbomb, and Sami's head, oh my god, he needs to fucking, put that on ice, because Madcap Moss did not protect him there. That was a nasty not look good. Very nasty powerbomb. He was horrible tonight. I'm sorry, he was really bad. You want to talk about a little bit unsafe? Riddle and Rollins had a fun little exchange on top. But Riddle hits the RK Bro off the ladder, and that looked snug. That was scary. It didn't look safe at all. But you're forgetting about the floating bro that Riddle hit off the top of the ladder in the ring. Oh, that was the tippy top of the ladder. Speaking of WrestleMania 22, it reminded me of when RVD did the 5-star frog splash off the ladder. Okay, guys, here's how you get over in a Money in the Bank ladder match. You just do the thumbs, Rob, Van, Dam, and you jump off as high as you can, bro. Notice how I said hi. Riddle does a floating bro, and the way he landed on Sheamus, like his back bent over Sheamus' shoulder. Again, yeah, stiff. But like I said, I wasn't a big fan of that RK bro. Obviously, Randy Orton knows how to do it safer. Riddle, you may want to get back in the ring with Randy Orton when he's good, and he needs to properly teach you that RKO, because could have fucked Rollins. Hey, Randy, you got to teach me how to do an RKO, bro. Properly. Wow, fucking relax. Riddle's RKO is really good. His off the ground, but not off a ladder. His draping DDT on Sheamus, I thought was really good. They used the ladder instead as the hangman spot. But yeah, gets close to the end of the match. Matt Riddle is on the top.
And honestly, I should have seen this coming a mile away. Not the eventual winner, but they announced. So Riddle made his entrance first, and Mike Rome emphasized Riddle as being from Las Vegas, Nevada, which is funny because Money in the Bank tonight took place from Las Vegas, Nevada. WWE does not like people winning in their hometown.
Just like how Ali is from Chicago, Illinois, and when he was wrestling in Chicago, Illinois for the United States Championship, he fucking lost.
Vince, can you just let us be happy?
For once.
Please.
I know the hometown boy can't win all the time, but they can win sometimes.
I know he just made us happy making Liv Morgan the SmackDown Women's Champion, but like, can we just have one night where it's just consistently like, not just throw politics into the mix, but yeah, so Matt Riddle and Austin Theory are fighting up top. Should have seen this coming. Austin Theory grabs the briefcase after knocking Matt Riddle off. Here's my thing. We were talking a lot about how good Austin Theory is. And Tomas is probably going to get into this a little bit more. I did not like this finish, and I'll tell you why. Number one, I feel like it's way too early for Austin Theory to be winning the contract here. I feel like next year, if you waited a year, absolutely, he should have won the contract 100%. But with Cody Rhodes out injured, you could have, I was reading on Twitter, this was supposed to be Cody Rhodes winning the Money in the Bank briefcase, which I would have loved. But the thing is, Seth Rollins is the one who took him out. Wrestling is so fucking easy, guys. Seth Rollins should have won the contract, cash in on Roman Reigns, win the WWE Championship at SummerSlam, and then, boom, Cody Rhodes comes back at the Rumble, and you have Cody and Seth main eventing night 1 of Mania 39, which Tomas and I are going to be there, by the way. It's so fucking easy. But WWE is booking themselves into a corner here, I feel like, having Theory win the briefcase now.
Something tells me that even WWE isn't sure when Cody Rhodes is going to come back. Look, I'm predicting him to come back at the Rumble. I understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't think they can risk booking something like that and in fear of Rhodes not being ready for WrestleMania time. So I do think...
He will be. It's a torn pec.
Okay, so how do I want to approach this? I understand people's complaints about Theory, but like I said during the Lashley match, Theory is Vince McMahon's new golden boy. He is potentially, I don't want to say John Cena.
No, he's, what he is? He's this generation's Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Because he just held a mid-card title for a while, and now he's being thrust into the main event scene.
He has an excellent look. He is an excellent wrestler. He is in excellent shape. He is so fucking easy to hate.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go back to the Old Testament of wrestling. If you are mad that the heel won, then congratulations, the heel is doing his job very well. Let me share some very personal stories with you. When Triple H beat Shawn Michaels for the World Heavyweight Championship at Armageddon, I cried. I was an 8-year-old boy whose dreams were crushed that Triple H beat my favorite wrestler. When Edge cashed in Money in the Bank at New Year's Revolution 2006, I was furious. Edge became my least favorite wrestler of all time.
It was a great moment, though.
When Miz cashed in Money in the Bank, I saw angry children in the audience, and I could connect that. If you are mad that Theory won, then Theory's doing a good job. There is a little kid tonight that is in tears because Theory beat Riddle for that briefcase. And Theory is that kid's Triple H. Theory is that kid's Edge. Theory is that kid's Miz. And if you can achieve that in wrestling, then you're fucking made.
Theory's better than the Miz, though. So I'll at least give him that. Like, in terms of in-ring skill. No, Theory is so much more polished than the Miz. The Miz is, like... I don't want to say, like, I don't want to do the Bryan Danielson trope where I say he wrestles like a coward, and he's a coward in the wrestling ring. But Austin Theory, like, his moves are very flashy. He has a beautiful drop kick. He had a really good match with Bobby Lashley earlier on in the show. So, I mean, I'm happy for the wrestler. I just, I want to see new stories. And I want WWE to know what they're doing.
And I get that it's easy to be mad because this is what Vince wants, and we never like what Vince wants.
Yeah, but listen, I never said that I was upset that Austin Theory is getting this treatment. You know, I'm kind of glad that an indie guy is getting this recognition from, the higher up. But
Now,
it's like I've seen this story before. I've seen how it plays out. And I'm like, I just need this story to be told in a different way that's captivating. And I just want them to have a sense of direction, because Austin Theory is probably going to hold this briefcase for a long time. I don't think they have any clue what they want to do with Austin Theory right now as the Money in the Bank holder. They probably want to give him the belt at some point. Preferably how I would have booked it on, again, I would have waited a year for Austin Theory to win the contract. So that way I'm not stressing the fuck out at WrestleMania when Cody Rhodes wins the title. I just want to see him win the big one, and I don't want to have to worry about a fucking briefcase.
Now, that's where I can agree with you because, okay, Theory got his moment. He is being thrust into a main event picture. But where do you go from here in a world where Roman Reigns rules the WWE?
Bingo.
Here's the thing. Roman Reigns has held the championship since August 2020, and he has defeated Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman, Bryan Danielson,
everybody,
Kevin Owens, Edge,
Jey Uso, Kevin Owens.
Yeah, Owens. We mentioned Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli. He's defeated John Cena,
Rey Mysterio,
Brock
Lesnar.
Are the cream of the crop when it comes to babyface stars. Do you think I'm gonna and when you have a dominant heel champion like a Triple H, let's go back to Triple H. You wanted to see Batista, Goldberg, Chris Benoit, Shawn Michaels take him down. Do you think I'm going to be happy if Theory is the guy to do it?
No. Especially with the briefcase. No. It's got to be a clean victory.
Now, here's the thing. Last year, I wanted Big E to be that guy because Big E was a very likable babyface and he was over with the crowd. Theory is a snot-nosed, sniveling little heel. And if Theory's the one to beat Roman Reigns, I'm not going to feel that. You're not going to have that warm feeling. I'm not going to have that, yes, finally, Joker goes down to the Batman. Finally, Thanos goes down to the Avengers. Finally, the Green Goblin goes down to Spider-Man.
You're not going to feel the gravity of the moment. You're not going to feel the satisfaction. So I feel like I still think Drew McIntyre is the guy to take down Roman Reigns. Do I think that Theory can beat Drew McIntyre for the belt? No, absolutely not. I feel like they should theoretically, no pun intended, they should wait until Cody Rhodes is back, fully healthy, because I feel like a big feud that WWE can do for a long time is Cody Rhodes versus Austin Theory. I feel like that can be a money feud. Like Vince's guy going after the guy who is like, oh, yeah, I started your competition, and that can be.
So,
again,
if WWE can just hold on, the briefcase has a year-long lifespan. Like Brock Lesnar said, wait.
I got a year to cash in. A year.
Again, a year. Let him hold on to it for a bit.
Still, by the way, can I just also say, I know Brock Lesnar just returned. I know he's doing all this cowboy shit, but that was still the funniest thing Brock Lesnar ever did, was hold that Money in the Bank contract. The Beast Box, and that promo that Paul Heyman cut where he's going over the details of the contract, and Brock's reaction to it because he doesn't watch the product. It's the funniest fucking thing. I loved it. Loved it. So
also, my new favorite meme that keeps resurfacing on the internet is Mustafa Ali on the ladder watching Lesnar come to the ring. And it's Ali saying like, oh my God, here comes Brock Lesnar. I should take the briefcase down that's right in front of me.
Take the briefcase and run! Run! Get out of there!
To the ring! Dumbass.
Fucking idiot. But I don't want to say that this is a classic Money in the Bank ladder match. By the way, it had its fun spots.
I give it 4 stars. It exceeded expectations.
I thought, 4 stars if I'm being generous. I would say it's definitely, I don't know how to rank all the Money in the Bank ladder matches right now. There's too many, but I feel like it's very much middle of the pack for me right now.
If it was on a spectrum, it would kind of be leaning towards the better. Kind of like in the
It would be like in, I would say it would be like in the B tier if I were making a tier.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Again, I agree with you. I think I could put these matches on a spectrum. Kind of like Royal Rumble matches. You can put those on a spectrum.
Yeah, this is becoming very much a WWE staple that Chris Jericho invented. But Money in the Bank 2022, I think I'm comfortable giving it a 7. I mean, you definitely had tag team title match that exceeded all expectations. A men's Money in the Bank ladder match that was really fun. You had a very stiff United States title match. But I mean, the women's matches, very much a mixed bag. But I definitely feel like this is mid to lower tier for pay-per-views so far for WWE this year.
I feel comfortable giving this a 7.5. There was a lot of good stuff on the show. I feel like more good than bad. But how is it that WWE is so consistent with pay-per-views, including this tag team title match, but they produce dog shit TV every single week?
Makes no fucking sense, does it? It's flabbergasting, and it honestly kind of concerns me because they announced that Monday Night Raw was coming to San Jose, so Tomas and I will be there.
We'll be there.
Yeah, we're. I mean, it'll be.
I'm gonna be at Saturday night's main event next Saturday.
There you go. So main evented probably by I don't fucking know, Drew versus Seth.
See Cody Rhodes. Fuck.
You're like, oh yeah, fuck! I get to see the American Nightmare. Oh no.
No, I don't.
I get really depressed.
It's advertised as a SmackDown show, but I'm sure there'll be some Raw guys on there too. So.
Oh yeah, probably Riddle.
Yeah, Riddle, Rollins. They'll probably throw Kevin Owens on there, but it's gonna be a fun time. It's a house show. They'll do some silly stuff. So
yeah, Kevin Owens will probably be like, "That's Elias,"
something like that.
Yeah.
New Day will probably do some really weird shit. I've seen the New Day do some really weird fucking stuff at house shows, like Big E spending the majority of the match on the apron in the splits.
There you go. That works. That works with me.
While they wrestled Primo Colon and Mike Bennett. I will never forget that.
Such a bizarre match right there. Talking about random tag teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, good show all around. Tomas, end of an era for him in that dimly lit room, as he mentioned. Next time you see us, we'll be in Tomas's new place. We got SummerSlam at the end of the month. We got No Way Out 2004 to look forward to. That'll be our next retro show. Very, very important show in the Ruthless Aggression era. And still, to this very day, just to give you a bit of a preview, No Way Out 2004 still contains my biggest regret as a wrestling fan. And I'll just leave it at that for right now. So hit that subscribe button if you're new. Hit that notification bell. Keeping you up to date with all things in movies and entertainment over here on this channel. I will be looking at Thor Love and Thunder on opening night, and I will be reviewing that very, very soon. So please be patient with me. Yeah, should be a fun time. See you guys in the next one.